Okay, well, we're officially starting our matter ingestion lesson featuring the caped Cromer. All of our guests who are with us live can follow along live with cooking if they'd like to, or they can watch and learn so they can create this recipe later. And all of you who are watching the recording, same thing. You can follow along and pause and cook with the caped Cromer, or you can watch and learn so you can do it later. We're glad to have everybody with us, and I think it's time that we introduce to you the one, the only, the caped Cromer.
Oh boy, I've been waiting for this. Except with the pandemic and the quarantine, I couldn't fit in my tights. So hey, but well, we'll work around that. We get situated a little bit here. Okay, how are you, Jessica, Megan, everybody else that's joining? Oh, I thought I should have been the red arrow though. Hang on, what do you think? I think the red arrow would have been
very
real
effective,
good.
Yeah.
Okay. For whoever has ingredients. So we're going to do two different things today. I think you got, maybe, I don't know, did you get, yeah, maybe you got recipes for both. You did. Okay. So first one we're going to do is a cherry chocolate dump cake. Okay. Now some people call these cobblers and they do them in a Dutch oven. This is a Dutch oven, right? So hang on, I got to fix something so I can see better. Okay. You still see me good? Okay. 2 cans of cherry pie filling. All right. I've been watching the Food Network just in preparation for this too. Except I'm trying to get used to these AirPods, but I like them. So, okay. So we've got a 9 by 13 pan. And like I was saying, a lot of people call these cobblers, and you do them when you're camping. So if you have a Dutch oven, bigger than this one though, this is just a little baby one, that you can do it the same thing inside of the Dutch oven, okay? And just use charcoal instead of the oven. But today we're using the oven. Okay, we've got a 9 by 13 pan. So that's what you need, 9 by 13. That's a regular cake if you make a cake at home. We're gonna spray the pan with a little Pam. Boy,
that little Dutch oven was so cute.
That is, I even have smaller ones than that too.
Huh.
Kind of cool.
Very.
So, as I've been Dutch oven cooking, that's just perfect for me and my wife. Except the other day, I did a Cornish game hen in there, and we cut the Cornish game hen in half to eat, and there wasn't enough food for us. Okay, we got the cherries, you're going in. Talk up if you have any questions too.
Yeah, in fact, feel free to even, unless something crazy is going on, you can even unmute and just comment and laugh. We don't mind hearing you.
Yeah, that'll actually make it better, I think. Of course, it's probably kind of wild at that black house.
Probably is.
I have a question. Will it work with 1 can of cherries?
Yeah, use an 8 by 8 pan then.
Okay.
Or 9 by 9, something like that. Something smaller.
We just had Melina join us. Yay. Hi, Melina.
Melina, welcome to the Cape Cromer Show. I can't see you though.
Yeah, just her name so far.
Okay.
Melina, what we've been telling everybody is if you have questions or comments or laughter, feel free to unmute and interrupt and chat up, and you're welcome to follow along or just watch.
Try not to lick your fingers either.
Oh, good suggestion.
Okay, you got your cherries in your pan if you're cooking along, right? Okay, now we're going to take a chocolate cake mix. And we're not going to mix that cake mix. We're just going to take it as it is dry, right? This is why they call it a dump cake. We dumped in the cherries. Now we're going to dump in the cake. Spread it over the top. For you that have just one can of cherries, use half of the cake batter. Okay? Use half the cake batter if you're doing just one can of cherries in a smaller pan. But I'm going to put in a whole package here. And kind of spread it around evenly on the top. Now this is one of the hardest things you ever make, isn't it? Okay, now we need some butter. Kept mine in the fridge. Now you can take the butter and you can melt it if you want and pour it over the top. Or you can cut it in chunks and put it over the top. What I like to do is I like to grate it with a food grater. But it has to be frozen, remember. So usually we keep it in the fridge this time of year because it melts all over. So that's what you got to do. Okay, you ready? We're grating now. Just all over the top.
So I've heard of grating butter in for like pastries and things like that. Just gives it a nice even spread. Is that the idea?
Yep. It makes it more of a crumb kind of thing then. And it goes all throughout the flour. When they make like pastry doughs and stuff, they roll the flour or they roll the dough in butter and then keep turning it and laminating it.
Now it's looking like a cheese casserole.
I know, kind of funny. Kind of making sure we're all spread all around with it here. And it usually melts pretty good, so it doesn't matter if it's not real good. Now, if you're using the grater, be careful as you get down to the end. I always cut my fingers. When I'm camping, I'll take a knife and cut it into little cubes. That's how it usually happens. Okay, did everybody get that? Jessica, are you making it?
You are just fine.
Yep. He's grating his butter.
Okay, so that's what mine looks like. Does yours look about the same?
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Just smaller on the one, right? Okay, so that is done now, right? You don't have to do anything else now but bake it, but we're gonna make the other one before we throw them in the oven.
Okay.
Get rid of some of this stuff.
We're getting a 2-for-1 deal with the Caped Cromer today.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so this next one, we call this one pumpkin crunch, and we do it in the Dutch ovens all the time. It's one of our favorite. In fact, tomorrow I'm cooking a big lunch in the Dutch ovens for people in 100 degrees, which is crazy. But we're gonna cook a couple of these, and we're gonna do a couple apple crisps also. Okay, so this one is the pumpkin crunch dessert. You can see that. Now, if you were putting it in a Dutch oven, and you had most people have like a 12-inch Dutch oven, you want to put 15 pieces of charcoal on the top, just around the edge, okay? And then you put, this is for a 12-inch, and then you put 9 pieces on the bottom. And how you always remember that gives you about 350 degrees in your Dutch oven. So it's called the rule of 3 or something like that. So 12-inch Dutch oven, you take 3 off the bottom, and you put those 3 on the top, and that gives you 12 plus 3 is 15. So you have 15 on the top, 9 on the bottom. Does that make sense? Okay, now we're egg cracking.
So that's 2.
Thank you for the play-by-play.
That's 3. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, we got 3 eggs. We're gonna mix those up first. And you can use the power mixer on this. You can use this kind of mixer, or you can use the KitchenAid mixer, or whatever you think. because they'll all work.
I think my mom's superpower is a whisking arm. You must have it too. I get exhausted. Like right about now, I'd be like, nope, I'm out. I'm done.
So I try to do it both ways. Okay. We need 1 can of evaporative milk.
I actually found in the store dairy-free, lactose-free evaporated milk, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use almond milk too.
Oh, okay.
You make almond milk to make pecan or pumpkin pies?
Yeah, I use almond milk in everything now. I like it better than coconut makes it taste coconutty, but almond, as long as I don't get the vanilla kind, if I just get the original, I like it.
Okay, 1.5 cups of sugar. Pretty easy, right? Oh, come on out of there. Let that sit out too long, I guess. Okay, mix that up good. And then you need pumpkin, and it's just like Libby's pumpkin that you get at the store. Not a great big one like this. We bought a great big one because we're cooking a big lunch tomorrow. So we needed more than just 1 little can. So I put 2 cups, which is that can, the regular can. And then we're gonna put that pumpkin in the mix. Looks like Jessica is shouting out the instructions.
Yeah. We had sound from Melina for a minute. It sounds like she's having a party at her house or construction. I don't know what's so.
Okay, now we're just whisking it up again. If you've ever made a pumpkin pie, this is almost the exact same thing. I think in pumpkin pie, they use a little bit more milk than this, but this works out perfect. Okay, then we have pumpkin pie spice. Going to the wrong camera. Okay. And we're gonna put in, I don't remember what it was. That's bad. It is 1 tablespoon pumpkin pie mix. Now that pumpkin pie mix is like cinnamon and allspice and clove, that kind of thing. So if you don't got pumpkin, just put a few different one of those in. Now it should look like this. Look at that. Looks like pumpkin pie. Smells like a pumpkin pie. Maybe these recipes are too fast for this. Okay, then I've got another 9 by 13. Again, if you have a 12-inch Dutch oven, you can put it in the 12-inch Dutch oven. Spray it first or put oil around the edges and on the bottom. I'm losing my seed.
Oh yeah, I've been cooking a lot more with olive oil lately and using that instead of Pam spray. But for baking, would olive oil give it a strange taste? Do you want to just stick to like canola oil or something, or?
Yeah, I think I'd use canola oil. You can use olive oil. There are some of those out there that don't give a taste to them like that, but they would work fine too. Okay, look at that one. Can you see that? It's runny like a pumpkin pie. Now, before we started, we should have started our ovens, right? Put them on like 350.
Okay. So if you haven't, turn it on now.
This is just a yellow cake mix. You could use a yellow cake mix. You could use a white cake mix. You could do anything. Now, these dump cakes, you can do a lot of different things with dump cakes, okay? You can do apple spice with apple filling and then a spice cake mix. Put a little soda in with the apple filling just to thin it out just a little bit, but you don't need to do it too much, as you notice, because we just put those cherries in and did this one. One of our favorite is also a blueberry lemon.
Ooh.
Where you put blueberries in the bottom and then you put a lemon cake mix on top, right?
Do you get like the same sort of a blueberry type of pie filling, or
Yep.
blueberries with sugar, or?
Yeah, blueberry pie filling.
Okay.
And you can make something, you can get those, you like even sugar-free if you wanted. Okay, then we're just spreading this out again, dry. We're not making it. And we're gonna kind of move it around evenly. Don't push it down in, just leave it on the top. Because what it does, once it cooks, that butter melts and it makes a hard little crusty thing on the top. That's why people call it cobbler when you're going camping and that kind of thing. So in our family, we had one of my little nieces, she camped with us when she was real small, and she called it clobber. So at our house, it's clobber, not cobbler. Okay, we need some more butter.
And that's why you cook with a squirt gun?
Yeah.
That's how you make clobber?
I cook with the squirt gun only with the South Salt Lake girls.
Jessica.
I'm ready.
I was disappointed, Jess. I thought he was gonna like be squirting ingredients into the pan and stuff. I don't know. But no, it was just to protect against you. Oh, so you're going for the butter again.
Yep, grating the butter on again. Same kind of thing. We're gonna about use the whole cube.
Do you ever make just sort of a chocolate type of cobbler without fruit? Like, is there any other kind of filling that is, if you don't like baked fruit, or?
So I'm working on a pecan pie one,
Ooh,
which is pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I like pecan pie.
Yeah, me too. That's why I started doing that. I found a few different recipes for that on the internet, and I'm just playing around with them, doing different things with them and seeing how they work. But so far, it's doing pretty good. I just got to make it a little easier, because usually the crowds we cook for are like older folks or businesses or that kind of thing. So it usually works out good. Now, I didn't put this on your recipes, but this is just cinnamon and sugar. Okay, we're going to just sprinkle that over the top of this one. Not a whole lot, just a little dust. And we're going to put a little nutmeg on top too. Not too much of that. You use a little bit of nutmeg. Okay, what are the questions everybody has on those? Anybody have questions? It's kind of hot in this Cape.
Everything
Everybody
going
got it figured
smoothly
out?
there, Jessica?
That's right.
Yep, we made it. Oh, is it?
Oh, beauty.
Does it look like yours?
What is it?
The pumpkin one. Does it look like yours at all?
I think so.
That's no good if he asks what it is.
Yeah, well, I only think they look the same.
Yeah, the little
Okay,
sprinkle.
then we had our oven going, right? So we're going to put those in the oven.
Okay, so into a preheated 350 oven, 350-ish.
My oven's convection, so I'm putting both of them in.
So, Caped Cromer, what's the difference between convection and otherwise?
So a convection oven has a fan in the back of it, and it kind of blows the air around. So you can, instead of cooking one tray of cookies, you can cook 3 trays of cookies at a time. Some people still don't like cooking that way, but I prefer it. My wife, she can't get used to it, but I love it cooking that way. I can do a thing of cookies, put them all in at one time, and get them all out and be done.
Okay.
So
And
after
then
we've had them cooking,
conventional is the other.
yeah, and
Where it
yeah,
just comes from
conventional
the
is just,
top,
yeah, it's just dry heat, top and the bottom.
top and bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But I love convection. It's kind of fun. Okay, so they've been cooking now for 45 minutes, right? Through the miracle of TV. Look. Oh.
That is miraculous.
Ooh, it's hot. Ooh, hot. Look at that. Chocolate cherry. Now, some people like to do that cherry chocolate one. You make the cake mix just how it shows on the thing, right? And then what do they call it? A German cherry cake or something? I forgot the name of it. Anyway, so you make the cake batter and pour it on top of the fruit again, and then it kind of bakes into it like a cake. And then you could dump it out and have cherries on the top, or you can just scoop the cherries out. Now that looks good, doesn't it? I think the pumpkin one's done now too. Boy, those cooked fast, didn't they? Woo! Look at that beauty.
Ooh.
Now that is pumpkin crunch. So whenever we go cook for people, we try to do some different things, and they always expect peach cobbler, because why? Because that's what everybody in Utah does, is peach cobbler when they go camping. So we never do peach cobbler. Well, I shouldn't say never, but so we did a wedding for somebody in our stake, and they wanted peach cobbler, just with the cake mix like this. And so that's what we did for them. We did that kind of stuff, and they had cherry or peach cobbler. But we do pumpkin. We've done all different kinds. This pecan one we're working on. Apple. We like doing apple crisp and peach crisp. So when apples come in season and peaches come in season, we buy a bunch and we bottle our own filling. So we have bottled apple pie filling and bottled peach pie filling, but we make apple crisp with them. So now let's try something here. Look, oh. Now you know what I thought we ought to do, since how many people we got? We don't know how many people we got. So I'm
lost Melina, but we just got, I think Lucy is with us.
So I think some people are going to probably watch this later too. So
yeah,
if you would, let's say, can they leave a comment?
Yeah, in fact, I can put this on YouTube instead, and then they can definitely make a comment.
Oh, great. Now, don't be passing that around any of my family or anything, okay?
I'll make it unlisted. They'll have to pay me a lot of money to get the link.
Okay. I'm going to take a scoop out of this one, but I'm telling you what we're going to do. When somebody leave a comment or something, or we know the people that are showing anyways right here, I have these cobblers that I'll bring to somebody's house. Okay? But look, this one's going to have a piece out of it. Look, oh. So I'm just going to turn it upside down a little bit. You can see that pumpkin. Get up a little closer. You see it okay?
Oh, yeah.
Too dark back here. So basically, it looks just like pumpkin pie. It tastes just like pumpkin pie too, except it's got a sweet crust from that thing. Then we take some whipped cream. Now, usually people just pile on that whipped cream, don't they? And we're going to try it. Everybody's got to try it in the cooking shows. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and it's always, That one's good. So these are actually kind of cold, right? Because I made them last night.
Oh, no, secrets revealed.
Yeah. Wait, that's a TV show, isn't it? Okay, so I made them last night, so they're actually kind of cool. Some people like them hot when you serve them as cobblers. I actually enjoy them cool. In fact, the pumpkin one makes a great breakfast, I think. I'm going to eat some more right in front of you. So if you want one of these, leave a message or something, and we'll see these things, and maybe we'll draw a couple numbers and see what we can do.
Okay.
To get these cobblers over to you. Now, what kind of questions does everybody have?
They're thinking. So you said 45 minutes is the bake time?
Yeah, 40 to 45 minutes. Now, if you're up camping, it might take a little longer than that. But so when it sets in the oven, if you're familiar with cooking pumpkin pie, you want it to jiggle a little when it's done, right? You don't want it completely solid. You want it to jiggle a little, then the pumpkin won't be overcooked. And it's usually 45 minutes, you're good, even in the mountains, that kind of thing. So the secret to the Dutch oven in the mountains, if it's cold, add a whole ring of charcoal on top, but only put it against the edge of the lid. Don't put it in the center. That's what burns things. On the bottom too. When you're putting it on the bottom, just put it on the bottom edge, around this edge, because then what it does, it heats up the sidewall and then kind of percolates or circulates in there. And that's how you do it. And then you won't burn it. It's been a long time since I burned something. Of course, I have burned stuff before, but that's part of the deal, isn't it? The chocolate one's pretty good too. I might have to take a corner out of that one too. Before my wife gets home and watches my eating. Okay, what are the kind of questions? Now remember, try different kinds. If you like blueberries, try blueberry and lemon, or blueberry and vanilla. If you, in fact, with the blueberry, put in a can of crushed pineapple with it. That's really good too. In fact, you can add crushed pineapple to lots of them, a whole bunch of them. What else? Anybody have a question?
Which one is your favorite?
I kind of like the pumpkin crunch. Yeah, I'm working on the pecan pie one, and that one might be, because it's been pretty good. I just got to change a few things on it still, but I like it. But like I say, everybody in Utah, when you go camping, you guys probably do it yourselves. You make peach cobbler. So try something besides peach, or try a different kind of cake on top of those peaches. Try another flavor. Try you can do these with strawberries too. Fresh strawberries, add some sauce in there with it, something liquidy. And you can do, in fact, I was reading one the other day I copied, it was strawberries and cream cheese. So yeah, so you cut the strawberries in there, and then you add some other things to get a juice in there with some sugar and that kind of thing. And that kind of what bubbles while it cooks. And then you cut cream cheese up onto the top of it, down into it, and you kind of poke that down in. So I got to try that one. Haven't tried that one yet. But we've done all different kinds of dump cakes, and they're just called dump cakes. And you can look that up online and check dump cake. And you can do any of those camping. And people are surprised when you do this kind of stuff camping, because nobody thinks you're going to cook a pecan pie or a pumpkin pie, right? When you're up camping. But in fact, we probably should have done a whole Dutch oven thing, because it is camping time right now. So, and done a whole meal and showed you how to do a whole meal, but it probably would have took a long time. But you can do rolls, you can do cheesecake, you can do roast, you can do turkey, you can do lasagna, you can do everything. Everything you can bake in your oven at home, you can do in a Dutch oven. So when you go camping, try something different. Don't do the same old thing. Your eyes will be open. Okay. Any other questions?
Well, I'm wondering how you got into Dutch oven cooking in the first place, because you're like the master now. So what got you started?
It's kind of funny. So I've been cooking in Dutch ovens a long time, probably 40 plus years, right? Because I used to do it in Boy Scouts. We did a little bit. Then they made me a Scoutmaster. When I first moved into the little house next door to me now, I was 23 years old, and the bishopric came to my home before we had even been to church, right? And the bishop was Farrell Jensen was my bishop, and David Young was the second counselor in the bishopric, and Brother Marcin was the first counselor in the bishopric. So all of them came over to my home, even before we'd been to church. I didn't know anything about, I didn't know who they were or anything like that. And they called me as the Scoutmaster in the ward, right? So then I didn't really have my own Dutch ovens at that time. I'd borrowed my parents or that kind of thing. They had a couple. Anyways, there was a little old lady in the ward. She says, I have this pot out in the backyard. I don't know if you want it for Boy Scouts or not. And I said, I think I'll come and look at it, right? I should have brought it in here today because I still use it. It's one of my favorite ovens. It's an old log Dutch oven that is nicely lined, and just the finish is just beautiful. Much better than today's stuff. And so we started cooking in that. I remember one of my first things we cooked as Boy Scouts it was venison Swiss steak. And all the boys were excited because it was venison, you know, because they thought, oh, deer hunter, you know, and most people don't like deer really. I enjoy deer, and we have a bunch down in our freezer right now. We make all kinds of stuff with it. But so we started cooking then, and ever since then we've cooked in the Dutch oven, and we really have come a long ways. And it's kind of embarrassing to know how many Dutch ovens I have now. I'm not going to tell you how many it is, but they have their own little home out in the backyard. My wife thinks I'm nuts, but we do lots of cooking now. So we do lots of cooking. What started me doing lots of cooking and different cooking how I do now is Debbie Hare in the Kimball Ward. So Debbie Hare came to me one day. She was trying to organize the cook-off in South Salt Lake, and she heard that I cooked in Dutch ovens with the Scouts, and she said, hey, you should come over and cook in the Dutch oven cook-off for South Salt Lake. And I said, okay, we will. So we went there and we cooked, and I'm trying to remember, I don't think I took first. I think I took second or something like that. And then it got me excited because you win prizes, right? You win more Dutch ovens and stuff. So we won some Dutch ovens and some other gear then. And then we kind of got excited about it. And then, so me and my wife have cooked in cook-offs, and me and my two boys have cooked in cook-offs and that kind of thing, where we go and enter a competition. You pay to enter, and you have to cook 3 different things. You have to cook a main dish, you have to cook a bread, a yeast bread, and you have to do a dessert. So that's what we started doing. It's usually a 3 or 4 hour thing, and you got to have every bit of that time because you're doing yeast bread and that kind of thing. So we started cooking then, and then we got real heavy into it, learned that there's groups with Dutch oven people in it, and I've been involved with them now for years and years. In fact, I'm the leader of one of the local groups, and but it's kind of not good right now because the pandemic kind of shows it up. But I talked to emailed with some people in Las Vegas. They want to do a cook-off, virtual cook-off. So we might try that in September. So it'll be interesting. What else? Any other questions? I'm kind of boring you there, aren't I?
No, that's awesome. Well, one more thing about that. Yeah.
So Dick Stuckey was always my hero, Dutch oven cooking, right? And where our house is, we were actually in the other stake for a long time. We were in the South Salt Lake, then they split us into the Granite Park stake, and then they put us back in South Salt Lake stake because that's my house was right on the line. Anyways, they put us in the other stake, and I was a bum because I knew Dick Stuckey was in the other stake. And I did some things with Dick. I cooked in some youth groups and that kind of thing, cooked in some of his great big ovens and stuff. And he really taught me a lot too. So it was kind of fun. We were all excited when they split us into that stake because Dick Stuckey was in that. He used to be in the Haven Ward. He's passed away since then. He was a bishop in the Haven Ward too. I'm talking too fast now. And remember, all you girls, never do this at home.
Oh,
and I might bring this over too on Friday, just in case. Silly string.
Well, do any of you girls have questions? Megan, Lucy, Jessica, Catherine, do you have questions?
Oh. Diane, don't let them do that. That's very bad.
Catherine, they didn't. Oh, there we go. I was going to say they probably won't see that in the recording because you weren't talking. Oh. Oh, man.
She went a little too far.
I don't know too much.
Hey, and remember, in each of your youth groups, if you want to learn how to cook something, we can come and do that one night. You know, when we're able to get together, I can come show you some things other than dump cakes. But dump cakes are kind of fun because they're really easy. We did those in 10 minutes maybe. It was just really fast. So, whoops, losing my C.
Oh, well, you said that you cook for all these groups of people. So is that just like by word of mouth, people know you do this, and you get paid for that?
Yeah, so that's kind of funny too. So of course we have cooked for just many, many, many church groups because that's just what we do. And as my kids grew older and they moved into their own wards, they learned that my kids cook, and so we end up cooking in their wards too. Like Sister Ridings, who online with us, her mother lives in my son's ward, and we have cooked in their steak, maybe more than we've cooked in my own steak the last little bit. We've done girls' camps, and we've done elders' quorum events, and we've done steak activities and that kind of thing. Kind of funny. So those, of course, we don't get paid for. They usually buy our food though, so we don't have to do that, which is right. But then other people have learned throughout the years that we do cook, and we have done some catering kind of things. We haven't done a lot of that lately, but like we're catering for a business tomorrow that's in the lumber industry, and they just know that we cook and that kind of thing. We do, every August, we cook for the National Kidney Foundation, and it's called the Great Salt Lake Truck Show, and it's down at Thanksgiving Point, and they raise money for the truck show. It's England Trucking and Prime Trucking, and those guys, they get together and put this together, and they raise money for the kids that go to kidney camp. So one year they learned that we cooked, and they contacted me and said, "Hey, would you cook a dinner for us?" And I said, "Sure. How many people?" And so we cooked for 350 people in that event. That tells you how many Dutch ovens we have. It's kind of bad. So we used to have to borrow Dutch ovens and that kind of thing, and tables and stuff, but we don't anymore. We use mine. And it's so, and we're just kind of spreads, like in that group. We went and cooked at a couple wards for a couple events and that kind of thing, but it's been kind of fun. And then we've done a lot of different wedding things and that kind of thing for people that know that we do it and that stuff. So it's kind of fun. We enjoy it, except I don't know if I'll enjoy it tomorrow at 100 degrees.
Yeah, you don't need to bring too much charcoal when it's that hot. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife. Yeah, that's another thing. When we buy charcoal, so we wait until like Memorial Day or Labor Day when it goes on sale at Home Depot, and then we go buy 20 bags or something like that, and we stock it up. So
cool. Any other questions that you ladies have thought of?
Yours mustn't have cooked as fast as mine.
How much time is left on the pumpkin at the Black House?
27 minutes.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. So I'm thinking that when yours is all finished up, you need to post some pictures, taking bites of the delicious food. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Hopefully it'll look like that. So when it's getting close to the end of the time, just kind of push it a little, and it still should jiggle some, not jiggle a lot, but it still should jiggle. Not the chocolate one though. The chocolate one will be done probably no matter what. So
cool. Now tell them again, Kate Cromer, what was it that you were telling them about commenting to get dessert delivered to their house? Tell them again what they need to do.
Everybody make a comment or something, or make sure you let us know that you watch this somehow. Sister Blunt will post it wherever she posts it, and we'll look for the comments, and then we'll just kind of do a drawing or something, pull them out of the hat and say, okay, the pumpkin one there goes, the chocolate one goes there. I just got thinking, we might have 4 of them because me and my wife aren't going to eat them. So maybe there'll be 4 cobblers.
And do you have like a cutoff time? You're thinking that what, like a little later today, this evening?
Should we do that? You tell me, whatever works. That's probably good. Yeah, tonight.
Yeah. Okay. So in the next, let's see, it's 1:45. So in the next, 4 or so hours, you can, okay, so we've got a comment in this chat here. Perfect. So we're putting the Black family down. Anyone else who's watching right now live can put your comment in right now if you want one. And then you could also, when I post I'll post the video to Facebook. And if you want to comment there, that'll count. Or as I said, I'll post this video to YouTube instead of just the Zoom link, and then you can comment on YouTube as well. So you've got 3 choices there. Oh, good. There goes the Burrells. All right. Okay. And then we'll keep a little collection of those names, and then the Caped Cromer will make a drawing in 3 or 4 hours and make some deliveries.
Looks like pretty good odds right now.
Yeah. It'll all depend on how many people watch the recording today.
Except I don't know. It might be a long drive to the
Vice.
riding house. Might be too long of a ride to the riding's house.
All right, so we're making note that the Black household, the Burrell household, and the Fife household have entered the drawing, and then we'll see who else enters via YouTube or Facebook a little later today. All right, last call for any questions or comments.
I wish this was as action-packed as Bishop Fife's house. He was so exciting. But all I can say is somebody better watch out on Friday.
Do you hear that, ladies? That's a challenge. That is a challenge. All right, anyone want to show their faces and wave before we head out? You are plenty exciting.
Now we got to wash dishes.
Yay. That'll be our next lesson from the Cape Cromer. No.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thank you so much. You're a superhero.
Okay. There's a different face.
Hey, there is a different face.
Wait, I don't know that face. Who is that face?
This is my cousin Megan. Hello, I was
Okay,
listening.
Megan.
Hi, Megan. With so many Megans. We have 3 Megans on this call right now. All right.
I should have worked on getting my, oh, that's your earphones. I thought it was your hair color.
Well, they kind of match, don't they?
Okay, you guys have fun this week. It's been kind of fun. I've been watching along. I didn't watch the facial one though, so
The girls
everybody
did a
had
great
fun.
job. Yeah.
See you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Off
Bye-bye.
he goes. Thanks, everybody. See you at the next live event. Bye-bye.